Hi, everybody, it's Cynthia, and I am back with my next 5 in 5. Today, we're going to talk about 5 brotherly love TV shows in 5 minutes. If you know anything about me, if you've been following my blogs or any of that, you know that I am a sucker for a television show with brothers or bromance of any kind, even if they're not brothers. Which brings me to the bottom of the list. Our number 5 is not on the bottom because it's not one of my favorites. It's on the bottom because it's kind of an honorable mention, and that's Alias, Smith, and Jones. It's an honorable mention because, well, the guys, they really aren't brothers. They might be cousins, but even that's debatable. Still, Kid Curry would happily put his life on the line for Hannibal Hayes, and Hayes, well, he would do the same for Kid, but he wouldn't do it so happily. It's bromance in the Old West, and I love Alias, Smith, and Jones. And speaking of brotherly love in the Old West, number 4 is Bonanza. The Cartwright boys may all have different mothers, but their father raised them to be family first and everything else third. Adam, Hoss, and Little Joe are always fighting with each other, but they'll stand strong together if anyone on the outside tries to fight with any one of them. I think that's in the theme song. Anyway, I wouldn't call this one a bromance, but there's still plenty of brotherly love. My number 3 brotherly love TV show is a show that, wow, it kind of makes almost all of my favorite lists because it just hits all those right buttons. And that's The Hardy Boys. Frank and Joe Hardy are as close as two brothers can be. I mean, Frank does tend to wander away when Joe begins to sing. But when Joe's fiance is killed, Frank puts himself in harm's way to help Joe get the guy that did it. That's brotherly love for you. And when, that sad episode where Frank thought that Joe had been killed in a car wreck in Hong Kong, he couldn't even sleep. He couldn't eat. I mean, he could barely go on. Seriously, this is bromance, brotherly love style, at its best. Oh, except for these other two shows. My top 2 brotherly love TV shows are, gosh, they're almost the exact same show, only one has a paranormal twist and one doesn't. My number 2 brotherly love show is Simon and Simon, and that's the one that triggered it this week because this week was Simon and Simon week, thanks to Cozy TV. Once again, we've got 2 brothers who appear to have absolutely nothing in common but a set of parents. And, there are a few times where we do wonder if they even have the same dad. I'm sure they do. But Rick and AJ, they complement each other in a way that makes them a perfect team. Rick's a little bit wild, AJ's a little bit too straight-laced. So, when you put them together, you get the job done. And I know, it seems like Rick is the immature one, but he turns into the ultimate big brother anytime AJ runs into trouble. If you're looking for a bromance that has lots of hugs, you will find them on Simon and Simon. And now it's time, I would drum roll, except it would probably be really annoying, for my number 1 brotherly love show. And for the first time in doing these, I'm actually ahead of my 5-minute mark, which means I have plenty of time to tell you about Supernatural. Look, if Rick and AJ Simon were to hunt ghosts, they would be Sam and Dean Winchester. 2 brothers, totally different, and yet, in a way, they're kind of one and the same. The Winchesters' love for each other is both their greatest weakness and their biggest strength. And while other brothers can simply say it, Sam and Dean have literally died for each other, and died for each other, and gone to hell for each other. Yeah, they've pretty much done about all you can do to show how much you stand for your little or big, depending on which case, brother. That's why I call Supernatural the ultimate in brotherly love TV shows. Which ones are your favorites? Tell me in the comments below what your favorite brother show is, or your favorite bromance, even if they're not really brothers like Alias, Smith, and Jones. That's okay too. It's really just about that camaraderie between 2 guys who aren't afraid to hug and say I love you in their own strange way. That's it. 5 brotherly love TV shows in 5 minutes. I did it. Come on back next week and I'll have five something else in 5 minutes. I don't know what it'll be yet, but we'll see.